Hey everyone, welcome back to Attacking Third. We are pleased to welcome in the fourth member of our gang up here, Sandra Herrera. Welcome in, Sandra. How are you?
Happy to be here. Let's chat. Let's chat about it.
Let's chat about it. We are doing stock up, stock down. So each of us gave a player, a team, a coach, a situation that has us riding high, and then also one that maybe not so much. We've fallen off a little bit with. And there's a couple different topics, but we're going to start with stock up for the Olympics. Sandra, you're going first for us.
I love to be first. And I also just want to say I am the one that understood the assignment the most for this segment. And I'm going to just give myself some credit there.
Teacher's pet.
I know, really. Come on, be creative. Be the wild one. Sandra.
The instructions are there, y'all. Just got to read them. No, I'm really hyped to hear everyone else's too. But this is the way to start, with stock up, where we all have nice things to say. I'm really impressed by Ludmila's play for Brazil over the course of the Olympics, and I think her stock is rising. They dropped the news, the Chicago Red Stars, over the course of the Olympics, that they had made a deal with Ludmila to bring her to the Red Stars. And I'm not going to lie, there was maybe a little bit of question marks around her potential future arrival to NWSL. Maybe the sports business side of the deal was that they overpaid a little bit. This is a player that has kind of fluctuated in terms of productivity with Atletico Madrid. But here she goes into the Olympics and is on fire for Brazil. But there's also a little bit of a counter argument there that the goals didn't actually come for Ludmila with Brazil. But I think her play was incredible in terms of the knockout rounds, especially when the coaching staff was forced to kind of make some adjustments in light of Marta having the 2-game suspension for a red card. And this was a player that absolutely answered the call, was all over the pitch. When we saw her during that gold medal match, introduced herself to her future teammate in Alyssa Nair a couple of times there. She's looking lethal and dangerous on the ball. And I think if you are an NWSL fan of internationals who come to the league and a Red Stars fan, you're very excited about this player, even more so than when she was initially announced.
Well, Sandra, I also went with a Brazilian, but I went with Gabi Portillo. She had 2 goals and an assist in this tournament. And for similar reasons, I think she filled in the shoes that we were expecting Marta to have in this tournament for Brazil. And I think she looked so lethal. She was great 1v1. She was sending crosses in. She got in the box, scored goals herself. She set everyone else up for success. I think she was so fantastic to watch, and it was cool to see her growth too, especially from the W Gold Cup to this tournament, where she looked more like a leader. She looked like she was meant to be here and she believed in herself. And I hope maybe we'll see another Brazilian in the NWSL. I don't know. Chicago could also use some more goal scorers. So I think she's my player that has a lot of stock that maybe I would love to see her come to the
They need some samba.
Yeah.
And Sandra agrees already. Look at the smile.
Chicago, let's go.
All right, Christine, hit us. Stock up, Olympics.
Okay, my stock up is going with Corbin Albert, who I was not particularly high on, who I didn't see much out of in the friendlies leading up to this Olympics, who in the long run ended up absolutely earning her 2 starts. She had the game winner against Australia. She also had that absolutely beautiful through ball to Mel Swanson for the final to win them gold. I think that she started to step up more. She wasn't as absent in that midfield. She became a major contributor and started to really gel with the team. So for me, she is the stock up right now.
I like that. I may have, not read the directions entirely clearly. So my stock up is, I'm going to go with U.S. Women's National Team defender Crystal Dunn, but it's a personal stock up for her, not necessarily worldwide stock up, because heading into this Olympics, she was on the bubble of my roster for Emma Hayes to take her. I did not think she was owning that left back starting position. I thought Jenna Neiswanger was outplaying her, and she completely proved me wrong throughout this tournament, starting every single match in the U.S. back line, doing such a good job of balancing, contributing in the attack, getting end line, combining well, whipping crosses in, and then defending, being an incredible lockdown 1v1 defender, covering for her teammates centrally, running miles, getting up and down the field.
She was doing 400-meter races in between.
Hands down, stock up for me on Crystal Dunn for this one.
It's a good shout.
Now we're going stock down for the Olympics. D?
France! The expectation was so high. You're hosting the tournament. The gorgeous Hervé Renard is leaving the team after this.
Gorgeous.
Man Crush Monday. Had to give
Perfectly
him a shout
crisp, white button-down
Can we show
shirt.
pictures?
Just
of
gets
him,
better
please?
with
Honestly,
age.
that's my
It's like
stock
a
up.
fine wine.
Hervé Renard's white
Should've
shirt
been your
is my
stock
stock
up.
up.
Oh boy.
But they have such a good team. They have so much talent on this team, and to concede 6 goals in this when you have a stacked backline, one of the world's best defenders in Wendy Renard, and you don't get the results ever in any tournament. It was such a disappointment to me because I felt this was the time that they should have at least medaled in this tournament.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. If not now, when?
Yeah.
Right? They have the ideal squad on paper. It just doesn't seem to work in practice.
All right, Christine, stock down.
Speaking of another team, the reigning world champion, Spain, stock all the way down. Just underwhelming performance, probably the worst we've seen of them. A lot of their key players really went missing. Alexia Putellas missing that pen. It just not for me, not good. We've never really seen them challenge to the extent this Olympics showed, and all of the weaknesses. I almost said Montse Tomé as my stock down, but I think it was a team performance. So stock down.
Yeah, that's a tough one. No team has ever done that, though, won the World Cup and then come and won the Olympics. Spain
Which
didn't
is
get
a
to do
weird
it.
stat.
It's a
Okay,
weird stat.
I'm wondering, it's.
I know, but it's still a stat.
It is a stat.
It's still a stat. All right,
It's a stat,
Sandra,
all right.
stock down from the Olympics.
All right, again, I'm not going rogue here. The assignment was, in my understanding, was to go with a player. So it's going to seem very funny when I go with a player who is coming off of winning a gold medal. That being said, I don't know how confident I am even in this pick of going with Jenna Neiswanger. I think she's an excellent player. She is someone who has been was on all of my mock rosters going into the Olympics. Was not surprised when she was named to the full roster, but what ended up happening during the Olympics is she actually didn't play. So that's not something that's in her control in particular. And if anything, this is maybe a little bit of stock mid energy going on here, because I have a feeling that with so much rested legs, she's going to go off once NWSL comes back.
Okay, that's a good pick, Sandra. I like that for Jenna Neiswanger. I also didn't follow the rules, and I went with the team. I'm going with Australia. This is an Australian side that in Tokyo 3 years ago at the last Olympics, they had their best finish ever, losing in the 3rd place playoff game to the U.S. at the time. Then in the World Cup last year, they broke through to the semifinals, all without Sam Kerr, right, in their group stage. She was injured last summer. So Australia proved they could do it without Kerr. And I had so much higher expectations for this Australian side in this Olympics to disrupt the group, to cause trouble. And instead, they just rolled over and allowed their opposition to kind of walk all over them in terms of how they were playing. And the Matildas thought so, too, because Tony Gustafsson and the team parted ways at the end of this Olympics tournament, at the end of his contract. So not great from Australia. They need to continue to rise and get better. We're switching gears here a little bit. We're going to talk this Summer Cup, NWSL and Liga MX's femenil little mini tournament that happened over the summer. Stock up for this one, Christine. We'll start with you.
Ooh, okay. Rookie Brecken Mozingo for Utah, who all in look much, much better this Summer Cup than they have regular season. Her combination play with Sentner, Sentner has desperately needed someone to play off of, but also she pulled up with a brace against Tijuana. Just her passing, much improved, starting to show her face and stand out a bit as this Utah squad starts to sort of shore itself up and play as a team.
Shout out Utah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that shout. All right, Sandra, you're up next. Stock up for the Summer Cup.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the East Coast team. I really liked what we saw out of North Carolina Courage, and I'm going with Ashley Sanchez as a player with stock up. I think her stock has been up, honestly, since she's kind of started the 2024 regular season, but July was awesome. We're talking 9 shots, 6 on target, 2 of them ended up as goals. She had an incredible Summer Cup with North Carolina, and I think she really needs to get back in the mix of things when we're talking about the national team.
Love that. Go Bruins. I am going to switch over to Gotham. Ella Stevens has looked so good for Gotham. I mean, talk about a player that was very understated coming to this team. full of superstars, and she has fully made a name for herself in the Summer Cup. 2 assists, 1 goal, but throughout the season, 5 goals and 3 assists. She's been so effective, especially for a team that we've talked about that hasn't been scoring a lot. She's brought an entirely new layer to them and some depth. And she's so saucy and smooth on the ball. I think this is a player that I'm really excited to see with all of the Olympians coming back to Gotham, how she's going to help them combine and just elevate this team.
You know, it's funny because Ella Stevens, I remember distinctly on the coach's call with Juan Carlos Amaros when someone had asked about her and him saying, so understated now in hindsight, yes, Ella brings a lot of quality to this team. She's definitely a Gotham player. And now it's like etched in my brain. So if he ever says that about another player, they're going on my stock up by default.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm sticking with Gotham, but I'm going other end of the pitch. Goalkeeper Cassie Miller had a tremendous Summer Cup. She came in not having played a lot of matches in the regular season leading up to this behind Ann-Katrin Berger in goal. And Gotham went undefeated throughout their group stage, and they didn't concede a single goal because of Cassie Miller. Then they go into the semifinal again, a big shutout for Gotham, and they advance to the final. This was huge, and a lot of it having to do with Miller, and it stems with her in goal, shot-stopping ability, bravery on the ball to come out, and then her distribution out of the back looked really good throughout this. Okay, we are going to go stock down for the Summer Cup tournament. Sandra, you are first.
You're going to me. Okay. I had a couple of different options for this one. I was a little bit unsure where I was going to go. And if I'm being completely honest, I kind of take a look at my phone right now because talk about not following the assignment. I already forgot who I chose.
Sandra,
so let's take a look here.
You chose
we went with Dana Castellanos. Thank you. We went with Bay FC, Dana Castellanos. Summer Cup for me was supposed to be the tournament where we got to see players who are maybe kind of trying to crack their way, find their way through NWSL and have an impact during the game. And I think we saw a little bit of the continuity that we've seen from Castellanos thus far, looking to still kind of find her way into NWSL, into this particular starting 11 for Bay FC. I was kind of hopeful that maybe this would be the player that would crack some goals off. I mean, we're talking about getting opportunities against Liga MX Femenil teams. Maybe she was going to find some gaps, and that just didn't happen. Stock down for me.
I'm sticking with Bay FC, Sandra, and I'm going with the team overall at Bay because they were in a group with San Diego, Angel City, and Club America, and they just didn't perform. This was an opportunity for Albertine Montoya to take steps forward with his group, the style of play, shoring things up defensively, and capitalizing on moments specifically against a team like Club America. They did get a 2-1 win when they played against the Liga MX Femenil side, but that's not good enough for me. For an expansion side, the expectations are higher for them, and they just have not lived up to it at all. Christine.
Yeah, my stock down, I preface this by saying I acknowledge that Liga MX Femenil went into this Summer Cup having already started their season. However, very disappointed in the performance that Tigres put out. They won 2 matches, one against Puebla and the other against Pachuca, who are familiar teams, obviously, and then lost to both KCC, who, of course, is very hard to put down in any game we've seen within NWSL, but also the Houston Dash. Just not the typical performance of 6-time Liga MX Femenil Campeonas and 3-time Campeones de Campeón. Like, it just not their typical selves. Disappointing. Stock down.
Ooh, that's a good shout. Sandra, I also went with the team, and sadly, it's your Chicago Red Stars. Yeah.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, they lost Sam Staub. Which is huge for this team.
Tough injury.
That has been the most important defensive structure for the Chicago Red Stars. And it just kind of proved our point of without Mallory Swanson, there's not much that they do, either in the build-up, scoring goals in the attack. They lost to Chivas. I just didn't see enough from this team, enough from Lauren Donaldson, in my opinion, to say, you know what, okay, there's progress being made from the Chicago that we're used to seeing. You know what I mean?
It's the energy that everyone else went with to go with teams and me going with players that made me a little scatterbrained. And I probably, if I would have interpreted the assignment as choosing a team, I probably would have chose Red Stars as well.
Sandra, go rogue. Go rogue is the lesson here.
You're being so nice to us, interpreting the assignment differently. No, we cheated. We all cheated. Sandra, thank you for this.
How I wanted.
Have a great show, guys.
So good. So good.